Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is another session, scene of darkness in Dublin. We find ourselves at a house, or actually at a gate, where Miss Charlotte um, Monroe has arrived. May I know how you were arriving? By car?
Um,
By
she
taxi?
she would be arriving by car. She has a driver who is also her ghoul. She is arriving in a rather nice luxury sedan that won't get us sued for naming. And she waits for the gate to be opened. Is there a like a button to push?
There is a voice box. There is a voice box, and as
Mm-hmm.
you can see definitely that there are a um, number of cameras aimed at your car and you as
Mm-hmm.
we speak. A
Right.
voice comes crackling from the voice box as you stop in front of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Who is there?
Her ghoul, who is actually driving, will respond and say, I am Miss Charlotte Monroe's driver. She wishes to speak with Mr. Rothschild.
Does
Is
he have an
he
appointment?
out of character? Does she have an appointment?
Well, you came rather quick. You can say no, you can say yes. Of course, for the scene, you will be let in anyway.
Um, then he will be honest and say, no, she does not have an appointment.
All right, let me check with young master. Give me a moment. The voice box turned off, but the gate opens within a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And as you drive on to the area which is in front of you, you'll be facing something like this.
Oh wow,
Uh,
I like this place.
it is huge. On your left side, you have a entire golf course that is currently being uh, upkept by what
Mm-hmm.
you assume to be humans, maybe mixed in with ghouls, you don't know. On
Right.
your right side, you can definitely see the beautiful garden and Triton Lake. It is
Mm-hmm.
a small artificial lake that's definitely merged in part with the gardens. As you approach the house from the left side, you can clearly see a smaller house approaching. At that house, you can see standing an older man with his hands folded. He's dressed in a suit, not particularly well kept, as in expensive, but it is a suit nonetheless. Something you expect of a valet of
Mm-hmm.
of a large house.
Perhaps,
You'll ha-
perhaps,
the Sorry, go ahead.
perhaps a butler.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a butler type,
I
manservant,
see.
maybe the
I
better
see.
word. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as you stop or you're forced to stop, your car can't drive on. From the inside of the road, there are pillars, metal and concrete pillars risen up. You can't drive on. You'll have to stop, but the man is
Mm-hmm.
over there, smiling and waiting.
Yes. So we will turn the car off, and they will. She will actually get out of the car, and her ghoul will stay here.
The man approaching you will make a very deep bow and say, Miss Charlotte Monroe,
Yes, that is I.
be welcome. Ghouls are not allowed on the estate other than the young masters. Um, Please follow me.
And she will.
As he walks on, he walks past a pebble stone road, and you'll approach the house. On the left side, the house dawns up, and as you continue approaching, you can see the garden more closely. Large white stone vases, definitely a large mound of statues where you can recognize Greek gods and goddesses.
Hmm.
On the at the door, when you finally arrive at the door, passing a large garden on your right side,
Hmm.
you will find a large dark wooden door with engraved in it the Rothschild crest, the family crest.
Hmm.
And as you approach, the door is pulled open, goes open towards the inside, and as it opens, you can see two females opening the door. They are scarcely clothed. They are wearing elaborate tattoos on their bodies, and in the middle of this hall is the keeper with the arms behind his back, waiting for you.
She will curtsy actually in front of him to show him her respect for his position. Does he turn around?
Oh no, he does not turn. Oh wait, he is not turning with his back at you. His hands are on his back. He's facing you.
Oh, I see. So when she walks in to describe what she's wearing a very strikingly cut, tailored, plum-colored suit with heels. Her hair is done up rather nicely, and her makeup is exquisite. She has put in a bit of an effort for to look endearing and pleasant for their meeting. Um, and she will say, Keeper Rothschild, it is an honor that you could spare the time to see and talk to me.
Quite unexpected. I didn't expect to see you here. However, for this moment, you are very welcome.
Oh, I appreciate it. I wished um, to speak with you on a rather interesting matter.
I
Um,
assumed. Please follow
yes,
me.
of course. And she will follow him.
He then turns round and walks past several closed doors, and then stops, thinks for a moment, and decides on the last door to the right. As he
Mhm.
opens it, you can see a large drawing room. Are you familiar with the term?
Yes, I am.
All right. He steps into the drawing room. In the drawing room, there is a hearth currently not on. There
Hmm.
are stacks and layers of uh, papers where you can draw upon.
Hmm.
Uh, or sorry, draw upon, write upon, writing letters.
Yeah.
There are three couches. There are several mirrors, and quite elaborate amounts of art.
Hmm.
Art which depicts Irish and English aristocracy,
I see.
including what you seem is like either family, Rothschild family in the
Hmm.
link. You can
Yes,
see
of course.
uniforms of soldiers, not only the Imperial Army, but also the Prussian Army.
Hmm.
And yeah, then he takes a seat at the far end of the room behind a cluttered desk.
I see. Is there somewhere she can sit as well, or would you have her stand?
There are many places she can sit. She can also choose to stand. She can sit at. I have to picture the room in my mind again. She can sit at the window. This is just a separate chair next to a small piano type instrument. She can also sit in front of the hearth on the couch. Then she will
Hmm.
be looking at him sideways. She can also take a seat at the single fauteuil. That is a large leathery seat. This is quite a distance away from him, but it is a seat where he can sit alone or she can choose to stand.
Um, with the is there with the piano looking instrument, is it like a harpsichord?
Yeah.
Um, it has a bench, correct?
It has.
She will actually sit there, and she actually does ask you, "May I?" It's been quite a long time since I've played on a harpsichord.
He looks at her. He finds it amusing and says, "Sure, go ahead."
Um, I'm not actually sure if I should roll a performance check on this or not.
If you want to impress him using a form check,
Yes, I do.
then performance dexterity, I believe.
Um, Performance in Dex or performance in Charisma?
I think it's dexterity because you're
It's
using your hands to
dexterity.
play.
Would you do me a favor?
You want me to roll for you?
Yes, would you roll me 10 dice?
10 dice. That is
10,
a
10 dice.
that
It,
is a lot.
I'm not sure if the precise uh, um, specialty would come in this.
What is your specialty, if I may add?
I have a specialty in dexterity called precise.
All right. That is more for aiming, I think.
Yes. Okay, so that would be celerity 2, dex 4, and performance 4.
So that's 8d10.
No, 10 because you add 2 dice from celerity to every
Oh, right. Yeah,
to your
celerity. Yeah,
to any
good point.
dex based rolls.
Good point. Here we go.
So that's 10d10.
You got a 6, an 8, a 10, a 7, and 2 1s. So the ones take away the 2 hits from the 7, from the 10 that still has you 6, 8, and 7. So that is 3 successes.
3 successes. That's that's pretty well. I'm satisfied with that.
He nods. He knows that it can be quite a difficult instrument to master. He himself plays the piano, but not this one.
Yes. She actually does play several instruments, but she prefers to sing.
All right. When she's done playing, he will simply ask. So your skills lie in the art of instruments as well.
Yes, they do.
Would you by any plans play the harp?
Um, I've dabbled a little bit, but I haven't done much. Do you
Well,
have a Do you have a harp?
oh yeah, of course. Like this is
Oh,
only the piano in the drawing room. I do have an entire room that is fit for music and such.
I would be honored if you would show it to me.
Well, let's do it after the talk and see what we actually come up with before I
Of course.
show
That's
you further
uh,
into my domain.
business first, and after then we can resort to more pleasurable things.
I hope.
I mean, as do I. I had somewhat of a proposition to put to you.
All right.
Um,
I'm all ears.
as you know, I am new to Dublin, and I have been rather proactive. Think. I think I've taken a lot of initiative in the less than a week that I've been here, and some things good, some things not so good. As you witnessed at the Giovanni Gala the other night. Um, Now, as the I am under the impression that as you are establishing a new place for us to hold Elysium, and you have temporary spaces as well, I imagine. I don't want to assume anything about you, of course, because that would just be rude. I was curious how you would feel about someone offering up a potential space for Elysium.
So, what's your proposition? Because I assume that what you're saying is, do you assume that you have that you have available space for a possible Elysium. That is what you're saying. So what are you offering other than the fact that you have space?
Well, I don't have the space as of yet, but I am looking to build a space.
Mm,
As I should say, this is all theoretical. I'd like to see what you think of the idea.
all right.
Um, because we have threats on all sides at the moment. With the Sabbat, of course, and Aishar. Um, I am looking to open a nightclub. I had a rather successful one in New Orleans, which is where I came from. Um, and when I was there, it unfortunately had never crossed my mind to offer the space up as for Elysium, but I'm certainly looking to start one here. And if you're as amenable to the idea, I would be willing to negotiate terms of payment for you with you, um, if you are interested.
Roger also leans back in his chair. He looks at the ceiling for a moment and then closes his eyes, trying to make his mind still enough for him to talk. And then he says, "So you are requesting me to be open to you building a nightclub and me making it an Elysium as soon as it's done. That
Or when
is
I'm
correct?"
sorry. Or whenever it would suit you. But yes, that is what I am asking.
Right. Normally, I would not at all oppose. There are four problems that I see. If we can conquer those problems,
Mm-hmm.
then you have what you need. The first problem is currently I have one Elysium that is completely designed to withstand the worst of the worst attacks. This
Mm-hmm.
is going to be our primary Elysium in our soon to have Museum of Modern Arts, which I personally designed. This makes this Elysium my primary Elysium, not
Of
because I
course.
designed it, but because it is more proof against attacks, since we are currently at war. Which brings us to my second problem. Yet,
Of course.
the second problem is that the war that we have right now uh, makes the creation of a new Elysium without proper security measures almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as soon as I made St. Patrick's Church in Elysium, it went on instant uh, sort of restorational work.
Of
This
course.
place won't be done to hold Elysiums for quite some times. So that
Mm-hmm.
means my second answer would be the war needs to be either under control or over. The third problem I have is you are not the first Toreador to request a Elysium. There's already one of your clan that is building a nightclub as we speak, which I am personally heavily involved in.
Of course.
The involvement means that I run the club's financial business. I,
Mm-hmm.
I take some of the profit.
Of course.
I take
As is your right.
I I'm also I put up a quarter of $1 million to make it right, and I'm being paid a major boon. by that particular person.
I see.
So, having those three problems, there is a fourth, like I told you. The fourth problem is me. I have seen you thrown through a room by a Nosferatu. Well, I wouldn't say elder, but definitely one of the more distinguished members of our current situational thing in the city.
Yes.
He's trying to avoid the larger issue at hand, and that means that your reputation, in my eyes, has suffered to be considered a righteous host for a social event. You see, when I would give you my blessing, I would expect from you all the social behavior that I would expect from a harpy and more. Being a keeper isn't an easy task, and since I am the keeper, I want those people that are running the Elysia for me or with my help to be even better than I am myself. At the moment, I have seen a ghoul of yours trying to draw a gun. And of course, you didn't kill anything. But this is something that is weighing upon your reputation. If you are going to become somewhat of an importance when it comes to holding an Elysia,
Of course.
this scratch on your reputation must be mended first.
I I do believe that the I've spoken with my primogen about the situation that happened at the gala the other evening, and I have told her that I do wish to issue an apology to all individuals that were involved in the altercation. Um, and with any luck, they will accept my apology and possible payment for if necessary. Uh, so I do believe that that will be erased from my reputation. Possibly, we shall see. Um, while I understand that being a keeper is not an easy task, I completely understand it. Um, and if I can meet those terms of yours, you would take it into consideration, yes?
If you can meet all the terms and make it a better one than the previous one who came to me with a
Mm-hmm.
nightclub idea,
Mm-hmm.
I promise you I will take it in the same consideration as I did the other one.
I see. You did mention a major boon from that person.
That person did a few things.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, she gave me the rights of 40% of the income of her club. The second thing she did, she took up a loan with me for
Mm-hmm.
200 for $250,000, which she has to pay completely. This goes without interest,
Mm-hmm.
but it is without interest because she had paid a major boon
I see.
in advance.
In advance. Hmm. Hmm. Ideally, would the major boon be coming from me individually? Yes?
unless you can offer something better than your personal boon. I don't
Um,
see if you can or could issue something out of someone else except yourself.
this is true. Um, I think this could be arranged. Yes. Um, I
And
am. I'm sorry.
then you still have to tackle the other problems.
Of course. And I completely understand that. And I do believe that the that issue is resolved rather quickly. Um, yes.
Solving a war rather quickly. How very interesting.
I'm not solving it necessarily, but possibly mitigating it.
I've seen your fingers move, so I assume that you have some ability during wartime.
Yes, yes, I do.
I figured as much. I myself, however, work from behind a desk, as you can see. My martial skills must not be as interesting as yours, and yet
Mm.
I am here and you are there.
Sometimes the pen is mightier than the sword.
I guess. Well, my mighty pen at the moment says I am interested, but I will not hammer it down yet. First, our political climate must change into something more positive, and
Of
then we
course.
can talk.
Okay. I do believe that we can work with this, and I will meet your terms. And if I cannot, then of course, I do not expect anything. Um, but in the meanwhile, um, let me just say that if there is anything that I can do for you aside from this particular um, um, offer,
Do
then
for me.
please let me know.
Now, by all means, my lady, I have no idea what you're capable of.
I'm
So
capable of quite a lot, thank you. I
he's,
apparently nearly started.
he smiles at you, but you can see it's a smile that is a little bit of not contempt, but more of I've heard that before kind of smile.
Of course he has. Of course he has heard that before. Um, but yes, um, I I will certainly do my best to meet your terms.
Wonderful. So would you say that for this meeting and me taking your plan into consideration, you offering help would consider just a minor boon for a deal well listened to?
From me to you.
Of course.
Mm.
I'll put in one thing extra.
And what is that?
I'll let you play the piano in the music room. It is quite exquisite, I can tell you.
Hmm.
You can even make the decision after you see the piano. I'm not a cruel man. I wouldn't
Let me see.
like to give you a deal that you can't honor after.
Of course. Let me see the piano, if you will.
All right. Then he rises up, um, walks past the desk, and sort of signals you to follow. He then pushes against a wall, which turns into a door,
Mm-hmm.
and he walks on. He ends up in a darker corridor in the main hallway. This moment you face the stairs, you exit under the balustrade,
Mm-hmm.
and when you look up, you can see a very large family picture.
Hmm.
Clearly, you can see Alexander is a smaller child. Of course, it's all in painting. It's not. It's not a
Mhm.
photograph.
Right.
Then, as he walks on, he walks to the. Let me think for words in my mind. To the right side, and then he opens a curtain. Behind the curtain, there's a door. It's a
Mhm.
simple, dark wooden door. Like all these doors here are very darkly colored. And as he pushes it open, you enter a ballroom. Quite large,
Oh wow.
quite elaborate. Um,
She's
wooden things on the floor. Very, very ornate chairs. Chandelier on the ceiling. The room seems to be well kept. Um, like people have been dusting all over the place. And as you walk through the house, by the way, you can see those women and men as well cleaning things off, upkeeping the house like a good
right.
staff.
Right.
You haven't seen the older man though,
She
but
seems to be rather enamored with your with the curtains.
all right.
She really likes those curtains.
He walks over with her to the piano, and then there you go.
Hmm.
She
So
is
a
tuned.
minor boon to play the piano.
A minor boon for me listening and considering your deal and play the piano.
And she just is the lid closed over the keys.
Yeah, the lid is closed over the keys, yes.
And she just kind of runs her fingers. She like walks from one end to the other. And runs her fingers across the lid. Like
You can see it's
feeling
completely
the
clean. There's no
feeling
dust on it.
feeling the wood. Like she really enjoys this. And she
As
will.
she comes closer, she can smell the piano. It's an old wooden smell. You get it rarely. There's no holes in the wood. It's all
Mm,
well kept, but it smells like it's ancient.
mm. She looks inside.
The
And
insides are this is where it's revealed. The insides are a combination of old and new. The inside, some pieces have been replaced by newer pieces.
Mhm.
Not newer techniques. The technique is still old, but
But
some of the
the
woodwork needed replacement for the
right.
time was
Mhm.
is unkind to every sort of wooden
Of
instrument,
of course,
including
yes,
this one.
yes. Um. hmm. She stands in front of the piano. I assume there's a bench there that she can
Yeah,
sit down
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She slides and sits down on the piano. She unbuttons her jacket, like the top part of her suit,
Uh-huh.
and slips it off. And she's wearing a really nice like charcoal gray buttoned up shirt that's tucked very neatly into her pants, and she's wearing a leather belt as well, and she slides it onto the back of one of the chairs.
All right.
And she
He walks towards her and stands beside her to the left side, slightly behind her, looking at her fingers and looking at the piano.
she actually kind of like turns her head and kind of inhales a little bit as if she's smelling you, like the cologne that he's wearing, um, and like what kind of soap he uses, pretty much.
All right.
And she lifts the lid of the piano up, and she starts to play. Would you be so kind as to roll me another 10 dice?
Sure, sure.
Um,
Um,
she's
you
actually playing. Sorry.
yeah. The keys that you're touching is of
Mhm.
course ivory.
Yes, of course.
Um, but
That.
yeah. But
Um,
again.
And
They are
I'm
all.
gonna I'm gonna spend a willpower on this because
All right.
she really wants to impress him.
I keep that in mind. So that is one, two. Wow, three, four. But you got 3 1s plus a willpower. So that means you got 2 successes
Hmm.
in total.
Damn.
But that's understandable. It's a hard
Hmm.
instrument to play.
Sure. Should play the
And
harpsichord better. God damn it.
you're not the first one to play this one, and it is a hard one to master, or so it seems.
Is Keeper Rothschild, is he a fan of classical music?
He's a fan of a lot of things.
Well, I would assume that he has a harpsichord in his home, so he is rather a
I,
fan of classical
I
music.
he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 10 instruments in his room of in his house.
Ah, I see.
Oh wait,
Um,
sorry. Yeah, make it 10. The other ones I don't count.
mm, um, if he is a fan of classical music, I will actually send you a link to the song that she's playing
Sure,
um later after we're done with this.
sure.
Just so you get an idea of like what kind of music she really enjoys.
Right, that's fine.
Um, so yes, she plays the piano adequately.
He closes his eyes as she is playing. She can sense that he is definitely liking what he's hearing, partially only because it is something that it doesn't happen very much anymore. Um, but he touches her
Mm-hmm.
shoulder in appreciation, and when he does, I have to roll for this. She can actually feel her experience of this moment heighten.
Hmm. I'm not
I'm
sure if I need to make a Toreador weakness check, but that's only like witnessing things beautiful, not experiencing them.
it's I'm using my power of dementation on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's called passion,
Hmm.
which I don't create emotions,
You
but
just enhance them.
I heighten them at this point.
I
I could
see.
also dull them, but for you at this moment, I heighten them.
Mm-hmm.
Actually to see if he could make you if he could make you understand as his appreciation of you during this action. Let me get my sheet up,
I'm
or
not.
I got the sheet up.
That's okay. I'm actually kind of curious. It's does it's called passion, the dementation
Yeah.
power. Does it increase the feeling that she's experiencing, or is it more related to her senses?
I think it increases her feelings of how she experiences something. So
Okay.
the emotion that she's feeling, whichever, and I assume that this is enjoyment, he
Hmm.
would be increasing. He wouldn't increase her sense of taste, smell, or
Right.
hearing.
Okay. Okay. While she's playing, you will actually um see possibly. I'm not sure if is he looking at her face or not.
Yeah, when he touches her, he will turn and look at her. Yeah.
You will actually see little blood tears falling out of the sides of her eyes while she's playing.
All right. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. What is your willpower before I?
My willpower at the moment is 4.
Oh wow, then he's got a lot more successes. Then one, two, three,
She's not going to be resisting this, of course not.
4, 5. He's got 5 successes.
Yeah, she's not going to be like
Yeah.
resisting this at all.
All right. She is going what before the flavor of the scene. Normally speaking, she's going to be uh, remembering this moment for at least a week as one of the blissful moments when she plays, because it's duration of how long this takes effect.
Ah, I
And since
see.
since you won't be playing the entire time,
Hmm.
um, I consider it a memory of a good time. So you remember this as being for at least a week. It is one of your favorite memories now.
She will definitely appreciate that. She needs some good memories right now. um, and she'll finish the song that she's playing, and she will actually she has a handkerchief
Yeah,
in her
he will
pocket.
he will offer his handkerchief before she can get hers. As an older gentleman, at least older in how he looks at women and how he respects them. As soon as he turns, he will already hold a handkerchief in his hand, and it's an embroidered handkerchief with his initials on them, and he hands them over to her
Excuse me,
to clean
I'm
her eyes.
sorry. I'm sorry, and she'll dab her eyes, and is it a white handkerchief?
Yep.
The handkerchief is now stained red.
All right. When she's done with the handkerchief, he will take it back and he will fold it up again and put it back in his inside of his jacket.
Thank you for that. I think I needed that. And she'll just kind of smile softly up at him, like she's appreciative of what he just did. I'm not actually sure if she would be able to tell that he just did that to her or not.
Oh, I'm happily rolling empathy or aura because he will draw aura. I'll roll aura for you.
Okay, so I have an Auspex 3, it's
Yeah,
perception
yep,
and empathy.
yep.
It's just 3 dice
Oh,
because I don't have
sure. 3D.
what
I'll
empathy.
I roll for you. There you
Thank
go.
you.
You got no successes. It's a 9, a 4, and a 1.
Okay,
I have.
you had 5, I believe.
Who, me?
Yes, for the power that you um activated.
Isn't it perception this time? And not manipulation like the previous power?
Oh, for
If I
aura
would
sight.
if I would do the same to you, the aura observing.
It's both. It's perception and empathy.
Yeah, right. So that is this. I've got no successes. No. I seem to be. I rolled 2 1s, and
Ah,
then a 7 and
mhm,
a 6 and a 5
I see.
and a
Okay.
2. So yeah, he's got no success. He's trying to focus on her aura to see what kind of effect he has, hoping that he has a positive effect. However,
Mhm,
for some reason, all he can see is the fact that she's a vampire, which is obvious.
mhm, okay.
And
Um,
then he will offer his arm to her.
and she'll stand up with his help.
All right. As he offers his arm, he will fold his own arm over it and place his other hand on her hand, and then he will slowly turn. And as they turn, she can see at least 4 more instruments on the balcony above. She can see a harp. She can see a violin. She can see a what she assumes to be either a clarinet or a hobo. She has to come closer, but definitely wooden instrument.
Yeah, a wind instrument. Yeah,
Yeah, and she can see a trombone.
I see. Um, unfortunately, she actually looks at. She's wearing a watch.
Hmm.
She looks at her watch. Actually, unfortunately, I think I will have to take a rain check on the the harp. I have somewhere I need to be.
That's unfortunate, but maybe a good reason to return at some point.
I'm very sorry. I would love to return here and play for you. Yes,
Well, still we meet again then.
absolutely. And so out of character, she now owes you a minor boon.
All
Correct?
right. If you will tell to the harpies, which is Evan most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
then it'll be
I
fine.
Okay.
He will lead her out of the house on his arm, so he can
Mhm.
exactly direct where she's going.
Right.
He will lead her all the way to the front door. At the back of the wooden door, where you first saw the crest,
Mm-hmm.
there are other symbols. It's hard to see which one
Mm-hmm.
because the doors are being opened again. And outside is the older man that brought you here in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's leading you out, I will cut the scene short as you've been led to your ghoul and to the car. So go on your merry way
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy life, as
Unless.
it can sometimes be good.
Mm. Yeah.
Thank you, watchers, for watching. Thank you, players, for playing. And I wish you a very good night.